Today's topic is...
They can't keep getting away with this.
With the internet, you're going to have to be a little more specific on what
The blandifying of brands.
Oh, okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to Waypan. I'm Cal.
I'm Sunny.
So call it blandifying, call it generification, call it whatever you want, but we see it all over the place. And we were in the middle of our break and we saw this and we went, okay, we have to comment on this.
Yes, and it seems to be a trend these days when logos or rebranding projects turn into just a generified version of the old logos.
In fact, we were talking about this only 2 weeks ago with the Games Workshop logo. It went from this very characterful, very 80s sort of looking toy brand thing to literally just typeface.
I think it's even just a sans serif font. Doesn't
and now
serifs
it's happening with Crackle Barrel, and you can see them losing stock value. You can see what happens with these rebrands, and I think the reason why people are so angry about it is because it's about vibes more than it is about real, true reasoning, right?
I think it's also change isn't good, Leon. You know? Because once you're... Something that we covered in the GW logo change video is that this new generation of people will get used to the new updated logo. Right? Every time you update a logo, there's a new generation of people who get used to it.
But I think it's way more than that, right? I think what it truly is, right, a whole lot of suits who have never been into a Crackle Barrel going, okay, we want this so that it's easier to digitally brand. We can put it on various websites and logos and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's like the practical side of when you do a logo. I think it's that corporate sterility that it communicates.
Exactly.
Yeah, minimalist sans serif logos often feel cold and interchangeable.
That's because they are. They are, right? Okay, I think that there's a scene that perfectly encapsulates this in Mad Men, right? It's about when they can no longer advertise the health benefits of cigarettes.
Oh my god. What?
No, for real. It is it is about that. So he asks, how does the product get made? And the younger guy goes, I don't know. Yeah. And then the older guy's like, shame on you, right?
Yeah.
But the whole point of the thing is he goes through the process. But now we've got nothing but those younger guys in corporate. They're all exactly the same. They've got no emotional connection to the brand that they're a part of, right?
Yeah, that's right.
They don't care about the brand itself. All they care about is how much money can it make.
Yeah, like I'll just point out something that's a little close to us. We've got a Woolies near us.
Oh, yeah.
They changed it from just regular old Woolies to Metro. And when we talked to the people, apparently the staff didn't want it, the customers didn't want it.
Explain what a Woolies is and a Woolies Metro is.
Yeah, okay.
So Woolworths is a supermarket, right? And it's got a specific brand, like the normal Woolies has a particular setup, but the Metro is designed for cities.
That's right. And apparently...
where we are is not a city.
Yes, so the staff didn't want it. The regular folks who shop there didn't want it.
Yeah, the regulars didn't want it.
Even the management in the store didn't want it.
Exactly.
Let's just put that nobody wanted this change, but just because corporate said that it had to be done, it was done. And I think that's kind of the rage.
The kind of thing, because they've got no way of responding. And the staff, they cop it the worst, right? And I think that there is a real reason for this rage. Because when it comes to at least this Woolly Metro thing, it's set up so that it's no contact between anyone.
Yeah, like they've taken away, well, they have kept cashiers, but the cashiers are no longer taking the cash in hand. You've got to put it in a machine.
And
which is like, what's the point? Like if you've got self-checkout and then it's like, what, okay.
Yeah, but the whole point of it is that there's a lot of elderly people where we are, right? And this might be their only moment of human connection in a week.
And they're not going to be very well versed with machines. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, you're just taking that accessibility away. And I think that is what changing logos also impacts on a basic level. Aside from...
I'm actually going to push back on this because I think when they change logos, I think that they're actually doing you a favor. And I will explain why. Because they're clearly telling you who they are, right? They're saying, hey, we're not these people who you've been used to for 30 years, right? We are a soulless corporation. Just so you know, we don't care about what's going on. We're a soulless corporation. Those people behind the checkouts.
That is correct.
Yeah.
And I think this is the key, right? Customers feel betrayed by that because it's as if the brand is trying too hard to chase the trends instead of valuing the loyalty, the culture that they have built with the brand. And when the brands ditch the logos that people grew up with, it feels like they're erasing the history or disrespecting everything that they have.
But you are actually a graphic designer, so
right.
let's go into why they would do it. So the first thing, we talked about it for just a second, but digital usability. Why do they make this change?
Because when you take a look at different platforms, you've got different devices. You've got your phone, tablets, desktops, and you've got large-scale advertising. Think like overhead bridges, this sort of stuff, or like, advertisement that you see at the bus stop. So you've got different sizes and different formats. A logo has to be able to be scaled down really small, like on a packaging, or be blown up really big like on a billboard. And if your logo has too much complex design on it, it's not going to be readable when it goes small. You can always blow things up really big, but once you go down small, it becomes pixelated, especially when you don't use vector programs like Illustrator. You use Photoshop. Pixels, once they go down, they just become blurry. With vectors, you can scale it up super big or super small. It will never lose clarity.
Well, I think also the problem is this is a part of that sort of generification, right? It's the idea that you don't have specific logos for specific things. Like, think about back in the day with D&D, right? Or Dungeons and Dragons. So when it goes bigger, it's that full Dungeons and Dragons. When it's smaller, it's just that D&D, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That shows that level of personalization, right? And I do think that there is room for simplification. Have you ever seen the original logo of Apple?
Yeah, I think there was actually a few different versions of them.
No. The one where it's like these scrolls and it's a farmland and it's crazy, right?
My God.
Yeah, it's like if you see it, you'll be like, well, when you're editing this, you'll see it and you'll be like, oh, that's unusable. But then they went to that sort of rainbow idea,
I remember
right?
that one.
And see, at that point in time, it was perfect for them because it's an apple, but it's a rainbow. So you go, all right, this is not related to Apple products, right?
Like literal apples is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
This is something else.
And they had that campaign, Think Differently. So back then they're like, oh, okay, so it's not an apple, it's something else.
It's a brand of some sort.
Yeah, and it's all about thinking differently. And you see that with the way that it's colored. And of course now having a rainbow on something doesn't really say anything, but back then it did.
Yeah, so it's companies assume that a cleaner logo will look modern forever, right? But when everyone uses the same flat sans serif look, it dates just as quickly.
Yeah,
and
exactly. The syndrome thing, when
everyone's super,
no one will be.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing about trends. It's a wave. Once it picks up, and then it crashes, and then a new wave picks up, right? It's a cycle. And I think with that, some brands are really good at just keeping the things the way that they have been. For example, Faber-Castell, the color pencil brand. I'm not sure if they've done a logo update recently. I'll have to take a look. But they're a 200-year-old company.
Jeebus.
I know. I never knew that. I to my thoughts, I was like, I never knew a company could last that long. But they're a 200-year-old legacy company.
And I see when you say that, I think that shows the importance of sticking to your guns, not following these trends. Because I think when you follow these trends, when you follow this idea of, okay, this will be perfect, I think that's where things go wrong. Well, Sonny, is there anything we can add to this conversation, or are we really just dragging it along?
I think that's everything that we can talk about.
All right, well, rather than keeping it corporately sterile, we're going to end it the same way that we always do and say, keep those brushes wet. Bye-bye. You know, with all of this going on, Sonny, it makes me think we've got to update the website.
Yeah, we definitely got to update the website.
But I think we'll leave the logo.
We'll leave the logo for sure, yeah.
Or we could hire a corporate middle manager.
No!